up at the front desk in the lobby. We need you to register for General Council. In order to conduct the official business of the General Council, we need a quorum of 100 people. And right now, Leslie, we're at how many? 91. So if there are any Delaware Tribal members that have not signed in yet, please do so. We'd like to make the quorum. In addition to that, when you sign in, you're going to be part of a drawing at the end of the General Council meeting. One person will walk away with a brand new 32-inch Magnavox flat screen television on display over here in the northwest corner of the room. So there's a pretty good incentive for signing up and being part of our meeting. So please do so, and we will start our General Council meeting here in just a few moments. We're getting the last arrangements done. We will have time throughout the afternoon if you wanted to visit each and every one of the tables that we have set up. We have our program managers in housing, economic development, social services, our library, and archives component, our environmental programs. We have our staff here with applications. We've got some goodies to give away at a couple of the booths. And then also over on the on the west side is Anita Mathis with our Library, Museum, and Archives department. We're also selling Delaware Tribal T-shirts and patches. And again, we want to make sure that every adult voting member of the Delaware Tribe is registered for General Council. And we will have a drawing for that television set at the conclusion of the meeting. At this time, Cece, did you sign in too? Okay, good. All right, I want to make sure all of our tribal staff who are tribal members are signed in, and members of the election committee are all signed in. We're so close to that 100-member quorum, I believe we're going to make it. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I will ask you to, if I could have your attention, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Pachonik to call the meeting to order.
Okay, I guess we're going to call this meeting to order. I'd like John Dillingham to say a word of prayer for us.
Please stand and bow your heads. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, O Great Spirit, we come to you humbly today. We ask for your forgiveness of our many sins. We ask that you bless this assembled group with love, peace, joy, grace, faith, strength, and courage. Be with our council today. Be with all of those who speak. Bless this meeting. Bless this tribe. Bless us to do great things in your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
ones who have passed on. Right. You'd be thinking about them during this song. Stand by, Color Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lenape Color Guard. These are Delaware tribal members who are also veterans of the armed forces serving as your Color Guard. They appear at our Delaware powwow, many different tribal events. They represent your tribe. I'd like to recognize them at this time. Our leader, John Sumter, United States Army, carrying the POW MIA flag. He's also a member of the Trust Board. Also a member of the Trust Board, Daniel Cass Smith, United States Army. He was carrying the Delaware tribal flag, carrying the U.S. flag. Homer Scott, also a member of the Trust Board, U.S. Navy, carrying the state flag. U.S. Army veteran Sarah Boyd, our first woman member of our Tribal Color Guard, and the recent Veteran of the Year at Delaware Days, and Kenny Brown, U.S. Army, carrying the Eagle Staff. Their pictures are on the wall here with many other tribal veterans, but I encourage you to thank them for their service. And I do want to make a quick announcement. This Friday, November the 9th, beginning at 10 a.m., we will have a Veterans Day ceremony honoring our Delaware tribal veterans. I would ask that you invite any Delaware tribal members and any of you all in the audience who are tribal veterans. We invite you to be here Friday morning at 10 a.m. for a Veterans Honoring Ceremony and stay for lunch. I present to you your Lenape Color Guard.
you all to turn off your cell phones or put them on silent. Can you hear me now?
No. Kinda.
Curtis, can this thing be turned up?
Bruce, they can't hear you, Judy. Can we turn up the sound?
Very softly spoken.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I need to get my angle one out.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Annette, can you hear me now? Okay. We're ready for the roll call.
Chief Pachoni,
Here.
Vice Chief Chet Brooks,
Here.
Jan Brown here, Jennifer Pachoni here, Berta Crawford here, Nate Young.
Members of the council, I'm Curtis Zuniga, Tribal Manager. I have a prepared statement on behalf of Nate Young. Mr. Young writes, I wish to apologize for my absence on this very important day. Unfortunately, my wife's mother, Lucille Bernice Cawley Chapman, has passed away, and her funeral is today at the Pawnee Tribal Reserve. Regrettably, I will not be able to join you today and enjoy your fellowship. Please pray for our tribe and its members that are ill or experiencing difficult times in their lives. Pray for the future of our tribe and show each other the compassion and concern that is important to our Lenape tradition. May God bless you and all of our Lenape people. That's from Nate Young, Tribal Council member.
Thank you, Curtis.
We have one seat open. Council members are accounted for.
Okay, we're looking for a quorum. Curtis, do we have a quorum yet?
Ma'am,
Do we have a quorum?
I'll find out for you.
There's a quorum now. 100 people here for the meeting, or
Yes.
people sign in later.
The way we have it right now, we have a voting area to sign up for, and we have for coming in here. Hopefully they're staying. We will talk. Well, when it comes to...
Chief, we're at 98, and we've still got some cars coming in.
Joe, we're still going to have the informational portion. We'll still do the State of the Tribe address, the Treasurer's report, the Department report. But to do any unfinished or new business, we have to have a quorum for a vote in the room at the time of a vote. But we're still going to talk a lot.
Could you repeat that? What does it mean to have a quorum? I don't understand.
We need to have 100 tribal members in the room before a vote is taken, but we can still proceed with the meeting and the state of the address and the tribal department report.
Number 100 is signing in right now.
If there's any new business brought to the floor by motion that requires a vote of the people, there has to be 100 people in order for 100 people present in order for a quorum to be declared, and a quorum has to be here before we can take a vote if an issue was brought to the floor.
We're at 100.
We
Don't mean anything.
We're at 100.
That's right. We have 100 people signed up, but we're going to go on with the meeting, and then at the point when new business is on the agenda, If anyone has new business to be brought to the floor, it can't be voted on unless 100 people are here.
Excuse me, even if it was voted on, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything. It does not mean that the tribal council has to react to that vote. Correct? Is that true, or is that not true? Wasn't the prior administration fixed it so? I mean, it didn't mean anything. Well, I guess I'm just kidding. I'm sorry if I'm taking up anybody's
Okay. We're going to do the treasurer's report now. Jan. Just a minute, Jan. Would you do that? The rules of the town council.
We have some rules that aren't being followed yet because you don't know what they are. An agenda is provided. Hopefully everyone has the agenda. It was laying on the table. Tells you what order things are to be done. Department reports may be given, and if they are and you have questions, you ask after the report is given, not during. If you can wait until the report is finished, and then you may ask questions and get answers, hopefully. We only want one speaker at a time, and they need to come up to the microphone. Jack? If you're unable to come to the microphone, we can have one brought to you, so you will not be denied your ability to speak if you have trouble getting to the microphone. Each speaker must introduce themselves with first and last name for the record, so we just don't have an anonymous person on the record. And if we're talking about a certain topic, the speaker should also identify if they're a tribal member or if they're just somehow affiliated with the tribe, working for, married to, or, okay, it makes a difference. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Prior to new business, a quorum will be called, and if a quorum is present, new business can be conducted or will be conducted. If a motion comes to the floor with a second, the maker of the motion will be allowed to speak first. The discussion will continue as speakers come to the microphone, stating your name and whether you are speaking for or against the motion. The chief will alternate speakers of these motions if they're for or against, so we don't get all the fors and then all the against at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Discussion on the motion will last 10 minutes unless time is extended by the general council body, and that is you. The meeting will end at 4 o'clock unless otherwise requested by the general council body. So it's not really that difficult. These are just kind of to help us get through this in a reasonable manner. You have a question of my rules?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm Karen Wilson,
Thank you.
and I'd just like to ask everybody to be respectful of what's going on at the front of the room, because even the smallest conversation is really distracting. So if you need to have a conversation, maybe take it outside. And so we can hear, because we're having a little trouble anyway.
Maybe we need to shut the doors into the room. I hear noise through that. And if you do have trouble hearing, or if you're cold and you feel like you need a coat or something, maybe we need to adjust the temperature, please let us know. We're here we want everybody to stay, and we want participation. That's a very poorly read one.
But it's ready.
Now we need a treasury report? That's me. Okay. I found, we have this simplified sheet here of money coming into the tribe and expenditures going out of the tribe. And I found it interesting to note that we had $1,719,265 that came into the tribe this last year. But we only spent $1,581,897. So we didn't overspend anything, but we've taken care of business, and I found that encouraging. We have a lot of grants that have come into the tribe, and we're trying to make sure if it's for services for you, the people, it gets to you. I thought this was out on the table. Okay.
Back here.
Jade. Oh, they're back. Jade has them back there. She's our accountant. I'm sorry, I guess. Well, see, if you go through and get your freebie stuff.
If you came in and sat down for the meeting.
If you just sat down for the meeting, you didn't get that. I beg your pardon. We do want to encourage you to go through the committees in the back. They have little presents to give you for coming, and plus we have some things to sell, too. Yeah, we can give them a couple of minutes to go get that paper.
Anyone that wants to go pick up a copy, we'll give you time to do that. Or if you'd like us to bring you one, hold your hand, and I'll go bring it.
Or they'll be available after the meeting. But you can't listen to the meeting and read your sheet, Joe.
Oh, yes, she can.
I agree.
She's good. Yes, there's also a housing sheet.
Okay, oh my goodness, someone's putting coat on. Are you cold? Is it chilly in, is it getting chilly in here? Uh-oh. We have chilly people here. I want to thank you all for coming, and I'd like to make you comfortable. Don't want you freezing in here. I think we have a real nice turnout today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this tribe.
Yeah, I have one other thing. I have another comment to make here before I give it back to you.
Okay. Jan?
Also, I want you to know we have a housing program page also, and there's one that says program proceeds of sale, and it says 0. And I was told that's because the money's here. Well, I don't want to point fingers. When the tribe took back possession of the housing program, when it became a program instead of authority, thank you. There was a little friction, but everything's smoothing out now, but we're still having trouble finding all the money.
Jan, can you stand up so we can hear you better?
If I stand up, I'm away from the microphone. Okay. I'd rather stand up anyway. You hear me better now?
No.
No? This mic isn't on.
Curtis, the podium microphone's not on.
Is this one working? Yes. Okay. I'm about ready to go get my bingo one. I know it's loud. I bingo. Okay. Okay, we talked about the tribal money.
This is the one that the $1.7 million that we got in. This is housing money. It's kept separate at this time. We have some proceeds of sale money and CDs, and we're still trying to figure out which CD goes into which program because they have money coming in for renting, they have money coming in for taking care of the houses, they have, it's a mess. And so it says zero on here, but I've been told it's close to $900,000. So we have money there, but we want to make sure we spend it as we're supposed to because the government controls that money. Right now it's going through the Cherokees as well. We are working on having that change so it comes straight to us, but it's still going through the Cherokees at the moment. So, any questions about my... Yes, Susan, you're not... How can you stand at the microphone if I...
No, I couldn't hear me. What did you say, where did this $900,000 come under?
Proceeds of sale, and that's when we sell a house. They're low income, but they want to buy it, so we help them buy the house. Okay.
I have a question.
And why am I talking to housing? She's supposed to be talking housing. What?
Are you doing all incoming? Is this the question for all incoming? Because what grants are we receiving? We're going to talk about
Okay. We're going to get a report from every one of them.
Okay. Are you going to do it? But is that including, like, say, the 638 contract you?
We only have one 638, and I don't know if the money's in yet.
What is it?
It's on the zinc.
Okay. So you're not getting new tribes or ATG or any of that?
We're getting some ATG.
We're going to talk about it we're going to present the whole picture.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, this one's mine.
Yes, so along that line, I'm going to be telling you about how the tribe works and what we're doing and how you can help. So I want to tell you about the services to the tribal members. We have increased access to the education, the LIHEAP, and community services. We, for the past year, we have had 63 tribal members receive education funds. 31 households received the LIHEAP money and the community services. 101 tribal members have done that. We have increased the housing. We have streamlined the application, trying to make it simpler and easier for you to use. We've decreased the turnaround and the time it takes for a vacancy to be filled. We would like to see you all sign up for a waiting list if you're interested in the housing. We could, you have to fill out a lot of paperwork, and so it is a little system that you have to go through to be eligible. But if you're interested, then you need to get started on that. So if you think interested at all, then you can get started on your paperwork. We also have FEMA trailers this year. We received 10 FEMA trailers. We still have some. We have the paperwork's about the same on those, and I think to date we have 4 people who have signed up for 4 trailers. So we do still have those if you'd like to get on that list. We have 143 housing units that the tribe has. That's 58 Delaware households equals 172 people. 46 Cherokee households, that's 141 people. We have 6 other Indian tribes represented in our households, and that's 26 people. And we also have 8 non-Native American households, and that is 9 people. So our program is going forward, and we do have some empty units at this time if you're interested. We got a new enrollment system this year. It's called Progeny. We had advertised in several DINs that we were getting this program, and we finally did get that. Leslie Foley is our person that takes care of that program, and she's been focusing on updating the tribal members' information. She's there to assist people with enrollment, and she's working on really getting those processed in a timely manner. Leslie has enrolled 133 people this year. Another thing that a lot of you are interested in, age group, is the afterborn check. We call that afterborn money. It's, let's see, if you're born between 74, what was it? Lacey, do you know what those dates were on the afterborn monies? 74 to 80, basically.
Yeah, 74 to 1970.
But you had to be enrolled in the tribe by 1980. And we got 135 of those checks sent out last month. So we were happy about that because we had lots of questions asked. There are still some people, our Delaware people seem to be, they move around a lot. So the address changes, and I'm sure that we did not send these checks out. The government did. And at this point, I don't know how many of those have been returned for bad addresses, but I'm sure there was a few. But we're working on that program. I think that we are going to start administering that program. So be sure you get your updates, your family, make sure that people that fall in that age group have a current address with us so we can get that money sent. We have a program called Indian Child Welfare Act. We call it ECLA around here, and we have Lacey is working on those cases, and we do have a few cases that are active right now. We have had this LIHEAP program ever since we got our recognition back. We had it years ago, and now we have it again. But they have enlarged that, and they have another little program called REACH. The LIHEAP program was to assist our tribal members with their utility bills, the heat and air. But the REACH, you can apply to repair your roof or get more fuel-efficient windows or insulation, things like that. So it's, I think that will be quite a helpful program to our tribal members. Along with the Indian Child Welfare Act, we have a new one that's the Child Support Enforcement. It's a planning grant. So for 2 years, we just get to plan what we're going to do with this program. And we are going to be working on that, so we're going to have some new employees. It's going to require some new employees with Tribe, and we're looking forward to administering this program for our people. We have our Title VI Elder Nutrition Program. We serve meals right here in this room, and the kitchen's over here. We 5 days a week we have lunch, and we have increased from an average of 10 people a day eating to 45 people a day. And they say they have served 8,660 meals in this past year. We have a wellness center. We have always had the wellness center downhill where our headquarters building is. We extended the hours. We found that 8 to 5 didn't really serve all of our people very well, so we hired Mickey Joe Morrison, and he works down there in the evenings, 5 days a week, and then on Saturday he's in there from 8 to 1. So for the Delawares, this is an exercise, have nice exercise equipment down there, and that's free to the Delawares, and a gas. You can bring a gas with you if you don't want to exercise by yourself. And it's also free to the Cherokee people, and they can bring a gas. For other tribes, it's $10 a month, and for non-Indians, it's $20 a month. They can come and exercise also. We used to have a gift shop, and we haven't had a gift shop for years, but now we're going to instigate one online. And we are in the process of getting some stock ready. But today we have our sealed t-shirts over here on the table that are available to buy, and we're working on our inventory. I think she may have a few other things over there on the table. We have a program that was in the last DIN where we're selling bricks. I think probably when you came in you saw our new building, our social services building that's almost done down the hill. We are doing the sidewalk out front with the bricks like out in front of this building, the personalized bricks. So that was in the DIN, on the back page of the DIN this October issue. We invite you to, I think there's where's the paper to fill out for those bricks? I think that we have some of those back on the table. Anita has them back here at this table in the back. So you can buy a brick, and they're just brick size, and it has your name. You can have 1 to 2 lines for $15, or 3 lines is $20. So this is just kind of a cost at our cost. It's the production and the transportation, and we will accept donations also. Since those bricks aren't very expensive, you can donate to, if you don't specify, it goes to our library, museum, and archives program. Unless otherwise told, you can donate it to other programs if you wish. Our language program is still at work. We have a www.talk-lenape.org. You can, I haven't looked at that, I'm sorry to say, but I'm told that you can punch in words and it's talking back to you. And I needed to do that because there's a word in this report that I don't know how to pronounce. So I should have been checking into that. But more about that in a little bit. So we have our personnel. We have a personnel chart, our organizational chart here. Our tribal members are in yellow, our employees, and other Indians are pink, and then the spouses of the tribal members are in the green color. So you can kind of see what our departments are and who is in there. Our personnel, we really focus on advertising the positions, and we work on hiring Delawares for the positions. We have training. We have a support staff that's being helpful and accessible. We have 35 employees right now. 70% of our Delawares hired this last year were Delaware-Tribe. 2/3 of the employees celebrating their first anniversary, which they've been here a year, are the Delawares, plus 2 of their spouses that are married to Delawares. Of the 11 employees hired prior to November 10, when I came aboard, 3 of those people were Delawares, and so that brings down our total. So right now we have over half of our employees are Delaware. We have our DIN. Do you all receive your DIN? Or your address is updated? I know we're still, every time we send out a paper, we get papers back that have bad addresses on them, which I just hate to see, but it's still happening to us. And sometimes I think it's the post office and not bad addresses. It's kind of sad to get all those yellow labeled newspapers back in the mail. We want you to get that newspaper timely, and it's packed with information, and if you send in articles and pictures. We'll sure try to get those in there. For the space we have, we sometimes make that paper too big, and it costs us a lot of money extra to send it out. But we really enjoy putting the paper together. Greg, our employee, he's really our archaeologist that works for our NACRA program, but he's really good at putting the newspaper together now. Do you all like the looks of the newspaper now? Is it looking good to you? Well, we want to hear from you. Greg, can you stand up? Sure. There's your man that's putting the newspaper together. So, you need Leslie. She was the one that's around here somewhere. She's out in the front. She will take that information if you need to correct addresses, or let her know that one of your family members isn't receiving the paper. Or any information that you think she needs, you can tell her about. So we have a website. How many have seen our website? You all get on there. Greg is also the person that takes care of our website now.
You want to see if that one's working? You want to go to the podium, Chief? Are you able to do that?
I think we need a new system.
I think we do.
There's Leslie.
Really neat.
There's Leslie Foley. She's our enrollment lady.
I don't know.
Anna.
If this doesn't work, I'm going to get my bingo.
Maybe you should just do that.
We're going to do bingo now.
I move we buy new microphones for next year.
I do too. Where's the front? Where do we plug it in? The cord should be running because I use this every week when I can't hear it. My hand. Oh, he's trying to trip me. Hit this button and then no, on, start talking.
Move the cord away from your chest.
Check.
I gotta go up to it.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Is it working? I think it is.
Bingo! Thursdays after lunch, come join us.
It sounds like a drum over there. So we do have our website, www.delaware-tribe.org. It's and we have an official Facebook page, and I don't know how to do that. Both are kept up to date, and they're updated frequently. We have a new email. Our tribal members recommended that.
Go this way.
Okay.
Our tribal members recommended that we have one address because everyone around here has a different email address. But if you want to contact someone, then we now have one that's just tribe@delaware-tribe.org. So it's like a one-stop shop. You can get a hold of, just address your problem at that address, and then the person that's responsible for that can take care of your problem. We are working on posting videos of the meeting on the website. which Greg came from the East Coast, and you know what happened out there. So we got here late, and we were going to live stream this broadcast onto our website, but we really didn't need to do that now, did we, since you're here? So we are working on that and doing our regular monthly meetings on our website. I think we have put those on there, haven't we?
We have put those on there, and this meeting will be posted within 2 or 3 hours after it ends today.
There you go. 2 or 3 hours from now, this is going to be on our website, so you can watch it again. You can see it from a different angle. I don't know what I think about this live stream, but it seems like that's the thing of the future, and we're going to be doing it. But we are recording now, and it is going to be on our website. So we are improvements to our tribal complex here. We have Indian Community Development Block Grant. I don't know if you looked around when you drove in, but the Barbara Street that goes down in front of the headquarters building is extended clear out to the street over here, over to Madison. And we had 2 of these ICDBG. We did Barbara Avenue and the pond. When you drove in, did you notice the pond? The city wanted Barbara extended, and the Barbara extended for emergency purposes, and then the pond enlarged just for the drainage with our buildings. We couldn't build any more buildings out here without enlarging our pond, so we did. The new building is a social services building. It's going to have the EPA, the library and archives, the conference room, community services, housing, education, the LIHEAP, the ICWA, REACH, and the child support planning. We're going to put that in the new building. We might have to have a stretcher on that. I don't know if all that stuff's going to fit in there, office-wise. But it will be completed the end of January, and we're going to be all moved in by the middle of February. Which the social service building was one grant, and then the Barbara Avenue, the pond, and we're extending the kitchen. If you probably didn't see the back of the building, but the kitchen is already being enlarged back this direction. And we have another thing that's happening. You asked for it, and we listened. We needed storm shelters around here. So now we're having a storm shelter built right outside the back door, and the new building will also have a storm shelter in it for the employees. And so then this shelter, if there happened to be a storm at lunchtime, you don't have to worry because you can run out and jump in a storm shelter. I know a lot of people are, they are scared of storms, and they can just pop up in Oklahoma anytime, and we're going to keep you safe by having these, and we'll have them stocked and ready to go. We are going to have an entrance sign. I think it'll be durable, and no one's going to steal it or rip it off. We had a sign up to Caney, and someone stole half of it. So they won't be able to walk off this big rock, I don't think. So we're focusing on the clean and organized and safe environment on our campus. We had a leaky roof on this building right here, and we got that fixed, and we're having the storm shelters, and I think the construction company is really keeping their construction areas all policed up and safe and organized. We purchased a minivan a few months ago for the tribe, and at that time where we purchased it, you could sign up to win a car, and we did. So now we have those 2 cars, and there's child support enforcement has money in that grant for a vehicle, and we have a tribal member that's ready to donate a vehicle to the DEA program. Another thing that's going on is this Barbara Avenue. I don't think any of us ever was too fond of that name. We'd like a more Delaware-Lenape name for that street. So who has those forms? Does Anita have a paper to sign up if someone would like to have a suggestion about what they'd like to name Barbara?
Are you renaming the whole street?
We are renaming Barbara
This
Street.
one, not the one south.
Road.
What? What did you call it?
What?
Road.
I thought we could just name it one, it'd be our first street.
Number one. So you can submit those by mail, telephone, in person, or email. Remember our new email address, that tribe at Delaware-Tribe.org. You can suggest a name. We have been working ever before I ever got elected. We have this MOA with the Cherokee Nation, and all of our funds goes through the Cherokee Nation. So I wanted to change that, and it's kind of a slow process right now, but we are talking to the Cherokee Nation about changing this, and it really is a difficult situation. We still haven't got our 2012 money. We have we ask and they get their money, but they don't go ahead and send us our money. So we're not very pleased with the MOA. And we are working to reclaim our 638 funds and our ATG money. We're working to get that direct funding from the federal government just straight to us instead of going through the Cherokee Nation and they taking part of it as an administration fee or something. But we've been working on that, and we're working on getting our housing money released. And they are actually, the BIA came and talked to us, and I think we will get our 638 funds released within this next year. The Cherokee Nation had already signed up for this year to receive our money, so they want to put that off a year. So we hope to get all that paperwork done and start funneling that money back to us for those federal programs. You probably have heard the story about us expanding into Kansas. We had a child care building up there that we repurposed our Caney building, and we're working on taking that into trust. We created a housing rental assistance program in Kansas. So if any of you have relatives that need assistance, it's not just for Delaware people, it's for all Indian tribes, the way this money works. So if you know anyone that needs that, it's available. And we have a housing table here. I think it's back right over in the back.
Ice cream maker.
Yeah, she's waving her hand. Our culture and our community involvement. The culture committee have been working at the powwow grounds before the powwow each year. They needed work done on their bleachers, and so we have gone up there for the last 3 years. And we replaced boards and paint, and we've just about got those bleachers shaped up because we only had like $500 a year to spend on this project. So each year we go, and we had a Christian motorcycle gang come and help us this year. And they were a big help because we were about worn out. But the bleachers really look great this year. We had rations. The powwow hadn't had rations since the 1980s, and the DEA, our economic development arm of the tribe, furnished rations for all the permanent camps for the last 2 years. Must be getting warm or something. Okay. We have a Tuesday night program that we work on our projects, our beading and moccasins and clothing. And we have on the second Tuesday, we have a covered dish dinner to go along with our working on our projects. And Nikki, how do you say that word? Delaware-Tribe is a group that meets on Thursday nights, and they focus on the children. They this past Thursday night, how many did you have, children?
We have anywhere from 30 to 40 kids coming. We have 50 to 60 total.
Okay, so they have 50 or 60 people every Thursday night, or almost every Thursday night, and the children do different projects, and they're learning their songs and their dances. They made little clay pots, the rope around the clay, and it was just a self-drying clay, a fast-drying clay that you didn't bake or anything, but my granddaughter made a little pot on Thursday night. So we also donate this building for use for the benefits, people and fundraisers. We've had wakes here, we've had funerals here. We someday might have a bigger building for purposes like that, but we also rent the building out to other people. That's most of the fundraising and benefits are for the Delaware people, but we do rent the building out for other occasions for the town. So we let's see, how does this tribe work? Well, we have a strategic planning program going on right now.
That's a break.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to start the introduction on how the tribe works, and I'm going to talk about the funding mechanisms that the tribe enjoys for money to come into the tribe. We have BIA funding. We have ATG money. That's money to run the government. We do not get that directly funded to the tribe right now. That goes through the Cherokees, and they give it to us in pieces throughout the year. And like the chief said, we're still trying to get them to give us the rest of our 2012 money, which I don't think that's exactly how the agreement's supposed to work, but that's what happens. Because of the way the Cherokees get funded through the federal government, they don't give us our 638 monies. Prior to the loss of our recognition, we used to get money for education, for work training programs, for roads, for several other categories. Since we've been re-recognized under the MOA, we don't get that money anymore at all. And the Cherokees claim that money on our behalf. And the Cherokees are set up to be funded differently from the federal government than we are. There's self-compacting tribes and there's compacting tribes and self-governance tribes, and the category is different for the Cherokees and for the Delawares. So I believe the Cherokees got a letter in July that told them they could no longer receive our money on our behalf because we are categorized differently than the Cherokees. So but we didn't get copied on that letter. The Cherokees only got that letter. So we started to feel like this wasn't a fair situation, and someone let the cat out of the bag that, well, the Cherokees are kind of in trouble for that right now, actually. But the Cherokees assured the federal government that they would get it worked out within the next year so that our 2014 monies would come directly to us. But we're making strides to try to convince them that we are responsible enough to get our own money, and it's all bureaucratic at this point, but it looks like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I just don't know how long it is. I don't know. I can imagine it'll be similar to what we used to receive prior. So it's not a whole lot of money, maybe $9,000 a year for roads, but we would have had a lot of money to put into that roads project. And we're also hoping we're going to press the issue on getting that funded retroactively.
What about new tribes? Because, when we were federally recognized before, we got new tribes. And so, is there anything?
Well, I think you know the federal government as well as I do, and if you ask 3 people, they give you 3 different answers. And so those are questions that we just keep asking over and over again. But if you have any thoughts like that, holler, write that tribe at Delaware-Tribe.org if you don't know who to talk to. If you hear of something that's going on in the federal government that you think, hey, the tribe needs to be involved in this, let us know. The next portion is grants monies, and we're going to, after I get done talking about the different funding mechanism, we're going to break down each grant to tell you what they do and who works for them. So that's coming up in the next couple slides. We get indirect cost monies from the federal government on grants that are written, and that indirect cost money helps run the indirect costs associated with the grant programs for, like accounting is funded by indirect cost to write checks for the different programs. The federal programs are also charged space cost to pay for their utilities and to pay for the space that they use for the programs. We receive state fuel tax money, and that's part of a compact with the state. We have private foundation monies, and if you're involved with a private foundation or you're out in the world and you hear of a foundation that might fund something that the tribe is doing, let us know. We're always looking for new ways to keep this machine going. We also have economic development, and Lisa Steele is here today, and she'll present a report on the DEA under the tribal reports. We also have a general operating fund, and money comes into the general operating fund through like rental of the facility and I don't know, other things. So that, let me look at the next slide. These are the programs that we're going to talk about. We have the Elder Nutrition Program, the NAGPRA Historical Preservation Program, Language Preservation, EPA, Library, Archives, and Museum, Administrative Support, Social Services, ICWA and LIHEAP, and Housing. And these are programs that are funded with federal dollars.
We mentioned the Elder Nutrition Program before. We do feed 5 days a week, 12 o'clock. If you're 55 or older and Indian, actually, you can come up here and eat for free. We don't check to see how much money you make or don't make. That's not important. It's you're 55 and an Indian. If you have a spouse, they are allowed to eat with you free. And if something happens and the Indian person is no longer able, the spouse is still allowed to eat. If there's a death in the family, the spouse can still come eat, even though they are not Delaware or Indian, if they were married to one. Now, if we have some employees that like to eat here at our facilities, and if you're in town and want to come eat and you're not 55, you can come up and eat. It's a very small amount to pay. It's $3 to eat with us. You're welcome to come anytime. At noon. We're only open at noon. Don't come at 3 o'clock and expect to get fed lunch, okay? And we try to quit serving at 12:30, so I admit if we still have food and you wander in and you look hungry enough, they'll probably scrape you something together, but they try to get the place cleaned up by 1. So, and some of our newest things, we have the soft ice cream server that we just acquired, and the popcorn machine, and these are all because of the new facility that we're adding on to. We had money left over from the grant last year, enough to buy a lot of the equipment, so it's already been purchased, and we're just waiting for the kitchen to be ready to install. And even though they're working on the kitchen, the new kitchen will be right in here. The old kitchen is over there, so we don't have to shut down the old one to install the new one. So when we get this one installed, they will move over, and then we'll change these back into like the office. The office here is going to be something else, and they'll have to reopen with the office and storage where the kitchen is now. So kind of keep an eye on it. We're running a little short on money, naturally. So if you happen to have any people that would like to donate to make sure our kitchen gets done correctly, we'll take it. But the grant was...
Are you going to explain why?
Well, I was trying.
Okay, sorry.
But
Sorry.
the Corps of Engineer always oversees the grants. This is an ICDBG grant. We were doing the roads and the kitchen in the same grant. The road ended up being more than they expected, and the town required it to be this way. So we gave up some of the kitchen money to make sure the road got passed, because we couldn't build any more elder homes or anything else if we didn't get the road done. So it made us a little short in the kitchen. We've asked the Cherokees to help us pay for the road, and so if they do, then we'll have a little more money to put into the kitchen. But so far that hasn't happened. So anyway, is that kind of way up?
Yeah, just tell me, read the slide.
Oh, read the slide.
We've got it up.
Oh. In case, where's my sheet? Maybe I'll just turn around and read the slide. I've lost my paper. Okay, first off, Judy's name is D-U-L-L, Dull, but that's a minor thing. We have Judy Dull and her sister, Arlena. They work here. Judy is our coordinator and does our programs before and after lunch and takes care of the dining room and everything. And then we have Archie Elvington, which is a Delaware boy that has had a couple of years of out here at Votech. Culinary, thank you. And Nancy is being paid by, she's kind of a volunteer. The tribe doesn't actually pay Nancy, but she's paid through a work program, and we have her here. We're thrilled to death to have her. If she's ever taken off of that program, we'll have to have her. We'll have to pay her through the tribe because we can't lose her. She's our pot washer. Yeah, well, she would. I agree. Anyway, we're thrilled with our help. We take any kind of volunteer. There was TJ, Aero, she volunteered quite a bit, and we appreciate it. She's working with her family right now, and we kind of miss her. I don't know what else is up there that we don't already know. Oh, Title 6, not Title 4.
In the financial packet, that I think they have a full set of financials maybe, and so they can look at the elder nutrition information in Fund 238.
Okay, she has it number 238 in her books.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you get a hold of I don't know does anybody have a question about what I'm talking about, Title 6? Yes? You're going to have to tell me your name.
Amy.
Amy. Fawn?
Yeah, it wasn't about
Okay.
Title VI. It was just how much money do you need for the kitchen?
They said we're about $150,000 short. I know. But we have a little bit, we still have one more year on our Title VI grant. If we scrounge a little, I don't want to scrounge on food and anything, but we won't buy any more ice cream makers. We bought that before we knew we were short. And, but we have it, so we might as well enjoy it. We can get some of it out of that, and like I said, we get the money from the Cherokee Nation. We will find the money eventually and get our kitchen done. It just may not be quite as quick as we want. And okay.
Check, sure.
Oh, maybe community service. That'd be nice. Nancy Sumter.
Any other type of grant that we might be able to get where we can finish off the kitchen?
I know Jennifer's looking for people out here in the public community sector that maybe we can get. We haven't asked ConocoPhillips if they want to donate. Maybe they might donate. I don't know. But Cherokee Casino, that'd be good. Yeah, come donate here, not the casino now. No. They could donate more on the bricks, and we could get that, you know. But, well, anyway, that's the sob story. We do have the appliances are paid for. That's good. Yes? Is that Crystal? Okay.
Did I understand that you said that we're asking Cherokee Nation for assistance in helping to pay for the road? That's why I'm...
Yes. Because the road, part of the road is on their road list and part of it isn't. And if we had known, if we had been doing our own program with roads, we would have gone through the correct order. They should have already had us on the list. Anyway, we're just having a little struggle getting the money from them, but there may be a light there. I give up now. I'm handing it over to Chet.
For NACRA and historical preservation. This one right here.
Kulabasi Hatch, Willie Kishku, Doc Coken, not Phil. I'm Chet Brooks, and I'm wishing everybody hello, how are you? And thank goodness for this good fall day. I have been assigned to cover NAGPRA and historical preservation first, but our good news, Delaware Indian News editor, Greg Brown, works directly in that department, and he's volunteered to fill you all in on NAGPRA.
Make sure I'm not too close there. My name is Greg Brown, and first of all, I want to mention that I am the archaeologist in our historical preservation department. A lot of you probably know the actual head of that department, Bryce Obermeyer. A virus has been running through his family for the last week, and apparently he's horribly contagious, and so he tried to do you a favor and not come here and get everybody sick. So that's the reason he's not here today. We're doing a couple of different things in historic preservation. One is grant-funded programs, and this is a series of grants that we've gotten from the federal government over the course of the last 7 or 8 years. We have a new grant, and they're all essentially aimed at what's called repatriation, which is basically getting ancestors and the material that were in ancestors' graves back so that it can be respectfully reburied. We're working on a grant right now for the next 18 months or so for 2 major sites, one in western Pennsylvania that was occupied between 1763 and 1776, and the other a fairly major site in New Jersey that was occupied literally for thousands of years. And so we have Delawares back as far as 3,000 or 4,000 years old that were excavated back before the time when archaeology was archaeology, when people just went out and dug up Indian skeletons in addition to other kinds of skeletons. So these are things that have been excavated and sitting in museums for the last 70 or 80 years. And what we're working on doing is getting them basically ready to be reburied. The museums are more than willing to give them back to us. We just have to document them and get them all physically in one place, and then within the next, hopefully 5 years or so, we will get those skeletons reburied. That's one of the things historic preservation does. The other thing we do is that when anything happens that will disturb the ground in any place where Delawares have been, and that includes Pennsylvania, New Jersey, part of Ohio, part of Indiana, part of Missouri, as well as Oklahoma and Kansas, they are required to consult with us and to find out whether it's likely that they will be disturbing Delaware remains. And so one of the major, in fact, Bryce's major day-to-day work is basically responding to those requests and making sure that we know where Delaware remains may be so that they don't get disturbed. I guess those are the two major things we're doing right now. The other thing that we're doing that probably impacts you a little more kind of locally here is that we are becoming more and more involved in cemetery preservation. And so we want to not only help maintain the known Delaware cemeteries in this area, and part of the money from these consultations has gone to mowing the grass and just taking care of things like Silver Lake Cemetery and Busby Cemetery and the Delaware Cemetery out in Dewey. But also we would like to know anybody who knows where Delawares may be buried, either family members or just people that you know about that are unmarked. We would like to make sure that those cemeteries don't get disturbed. So if anybody has any ideas of old family plots, anything that... Yes, sir.
I'm getting from my Kansas. There is a cemetery in Eudora, Kansas. That's a Delaware cemetery.
I'd love to talk to you a little later because we would love to get those. What we're trying to do is get those on a map so that we know about them. We're not going to share that with anybody else. So if there are things that we don't want, like every Tom, Dick, and Harry to know, it's certainly not going to happen. But we do want to know so that if somebody is going to disturb the ground in the next 100 years in that area, that we take care of it. So that kind of thing we're really interested in hearing about. The final thing on this slide is that for the last several years, I started working with Bryce 2 years ago. Bryce was working for the tribe for quite a while before that. He actually teaches at Emporia State University in Kansas, so our historic preservation office is actually in Kansas at the moment. This is just to mention that I am actually going to be working down here somewhere. We haven't quite decided where, but somewhere in this building or the new building downstairs, I will be working. So there will be two places that you can contact historic preservation. We have a brochure in the back where Anita is that not only tells you a little more about these things that we've been working on, but also gives you our email addresses, phone numbers, things like that. So we would love to talk to you about anything. If you want to know anything about the Delaware's history that we maybe can help you with, we are trying to compile that. We don't have it in a real pretty package yet, but we certainly can answer questions. As I say, if you know about cemeteries, we would love to hear that. I think that's about it.
Thank you, Greg.
Jan, back to Jan. Oh, what am I on?
The next subject is language preservation, and Jan Brown's going to present.
Yes, Jim Rementer is in charge of our, on the web, the talking dictionary, and he keeps adding new words and sentences constantly. And he's received a grant that will allow him to continue to do this. Plus he has, isn't the ELF one, isn't that a new one, Jim? Jim? It's an endangered language fund. Is that a new grant? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, if there's a grant out there on language, Jim usually tries for it, and we're happy that he's with us. and keeps our language going. And we've tried to add it to our Tuesday night group, but sometimes we get the beating and forget to talk language, but maybe we'll get better at it.
I just want to give Dan an applause.
Oh, yes.
He has worked for years to put this Monopoly Talking Dictionary together, and that was no small feat. I mean, this is like 20 to 30 years of recordings of our elders available online for all of you to do that. So you can hear the traditional make those words. And he's responsible for doing that.
I agree with that. You see who I could run to if I need a word, that definitely. So we thank Jim for all of his hard work and his dedication. Is there any, no? Okay. Who else? Yes.
This is ridiculous. Oh, well. There we go.
The next report is on the Delaware-Tribe's environmental program, and in fiscal year 2012, we received a $125,000 grant to cover training, conferences, salaries, office supplies, and so forth. The program has been participating in this National Zinc Trustee Council Natural Resource Damage Assessment going on concerning the national zinc environmental problem. It's also worked with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Department of Fish and Wildlife, Cherokee Nation, and the Osage Nation. Training during the past year was achieved through utilizing GAP grant. Our director of the environmental program is Jimmy Johnson. He's back here in the middle of the room and has several handouts. The program itself has not been strictly limited to environmental. For instance, Jimmy has done training in Homeland Security and the Oklahoma State Department of Health, training concerning FEMA. He's also done training in the Environmental Council, and he's been assisted by an assistant, Michael Marshall. Some of the other things they've done is our tribe sponsored a storm watcher seminar here one day back right prior to tornado season this past spring. It did last all day, and it was attended by, I think, about 100 people, wasn't it, Jimmy? In regard to the weather, if there's any tribal members here that do not have a weather radio, that is to give you warning of weather conditions such as tornadoes. Our tribe, I believe, still has several available for you. Also, training has taken place in regard to energy audits and conferences attended by our environmental people, include Intertribal Environmental Council Summit, Intertribal Environmental Council Conference, Emergency Management Coalition, United States Environmental Protection Agency Tribal Land Meeting, and Oklahoma Intertribal Meeting on Climate Variability and Change. In addition, they've met with the Choctaw Nation, worked with Jade Johnson to produce vehicle usage and maintenance policy for all vehicles owned and operated by the tribe. I guess we all know that gasoline engine vehicles do damage to our environment. They've also maintained a recycling program right here on the tribal campus. And worked with the contractor on unplugged oil well that we found when they enlarged the pond. If there's any questions about the environmental program, I'll try to answer them, and if I can, I'll direct them to Jimmy Johnson.
I don't know that the microphone's going to help you. Okay.
There are no questions on environmental. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? My kids always tell me when I talk that the neighbor's 2 blocks away from here. So if everybody can hear me without a microphone, I'll just go without it. I'm reporting on our social services and
he's talking about the library and archives first.
Okay. I didn't know you were giving me that one.
Where's that Chet? Chet's on library. Sorry.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Well, the slides are going to be out of order.
You go ahead, and I'll get the social services when they get to me.
Sorry about that. Everybody hear me again?
No.
It's on. You just have to talk. You have to talk so they can hear you.
That is. I inadvertently there skipped our library, archives, and museum program, which is currently headed by tribal member Anita Mathis. Anita's got several items back here in the far right-hand corner on the back wall. And she has been very busy trying to archive all the old photos. I'll stand up and yell.
All right.
Great public address system we got here.
Work fine for bingo. I don't understand.
Anita Mathis.
You can have a new one.
Anita Mathis has been archiving all kinds of old photos. And she asked me to announce that any families that have got relevant pictures for our archives, please bring them in to her. Even if you don't know who they're of, but you want to try to discover who they were related to. Anita's done a fine job of, I think, accumulating thousands of pictures. Also, all of our veterans, you see the pictures on the wall here, she's already got them digitized and on a computer. So she will have a decent room for our library, which is increasing rapidly in the new building down here. And if anybody's got any questions about the library, we'll try to address them now. No questions on the library and museum project?
On the pictures on the wall, we have an updated one. Can we replace one on the wall with an updated one?
Certainly.
I have a
Jack.
question. When is our library going to be available to the rest of us?
It should be open
right now.
After the 15th of February when it moves into the new building.
Oh.
Of course, she's open every day except Friday, I think, down here at the Wellness Center.
We've got a library now that's available to us.
Yeah.
It's very limited, though, right?
Right. It will be expanded. Thank you.
Are you all ready?
Your media. There's been a request for a 10-minute break, and so we're going to take a little break and then come back and go through the rest of the programs quickly. This part was just meant to be an overview. All of the department directors are here today, and if you want to visit with them about any of the projects that they're working on, and they also have written reports. So if you don't have time to visit with them, go by and grab their report off their table, and they have a comprehensive list of what they've been doing. But we're just giving an overview and letting you know how that program is funded, so when you look at the financials, they make a little more sense. But we're going to take a break now.
We lost our microphone. We're on to Jennifer.
So both PA systems are officially shorted out. But I'm going to talk about administrative support. Under administrative support is Curtis Dudiga, Bruce Martin, Leslie Foley, and Chris Miller.
Good, that's good.
Administrative support is funded through several mechanisms. It's funded out of general operating, ATG, indirect costs, and housing. We're located in Bartlesville and Caney. Also under administrative support is accounting. That's Jade Johnson, Gina Parks, and Mike Taylor, who recently put on the a dual hat of HR. Accounting is funded through indirect costs, and it's located here in this building. Verna?
Okay, now they're ready for me. With our social services programs, we have Wahi.
Can you talk about housing?
The housing first. Well, it's after all this, so I'll hit the housing first.
Okay.
Okay. First, I'm going to mention housing just slightly. With our housing, we have home ownership, rentals, assistance, And we have our elder units, and we have a tenant-based rental assistance in Kansas, and that is administered through the Caney office. And Leslie Harris is at the Caney office most days, and she takes care of taking in the applications and putting them onto the housing. She also handles the intake and the coordination of all the social service projects that we have. For a more detailed report on housing, please see the display back here, because she's done a great job. All of our people have. In our social services, we have our HEAT grant, which is, I want to get it right, Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. And we've had this where it helps for low-income families to get electric bill paid or gas in the winter. We have a new grant. It's the REACH grant, Residential Energy Challenge Program. And that program helps the low-income families with upgrades to their house for energy efficiency and that type of thing. Windows, doors, what help them.
Do you have to own the house?
I'm going to have to refer you to Lacey. I'm not completely familiar with all of the requirements. There is a handout at her table. We also have a grant for Indian child welfare. This is to promote the well-being of American Indian children and their families. Lacey is also handling that, and she works with our judicial people to administer that, and they are looking at expanding into more things for Indian child welfare, and we'll be looking at a lot of things like the violence against women and doing our codes that we need to support these grants and our enforceability. Okay. Let me figure out where I'm in. Okay, we have our child development department, which helped us build this building. We have a educational research building that houses the child care staff. There is a 2-page report out on the table. I could not begin to tell you all the great things they've done. But information is there. Any of our departments are available for questions from any of our tribal members during office hours every day. I'm going to also make some comments on our trust education committee. We have just gone over all of the guidelines and updated them in our in the education for the trust. We have school supply vouchers, education assistance, athletic assistance, academic achievement award, driver's education, adult vocational training assistance, higher education scholarships. The school supplies are for grade school, up to 5th grade. And this is up to $40 of school supplies. It's good for any tribal member, not just here in Oklahoma, any place across the country, as long as they fill out the application, submit the proper information, and submit their receipt showing that they paid for the school supplies. Then we reimburse the family.
Is that per child?
It is per child. And if you have 3 children, you need 3 vouchers. So when you call or write to get the vouchers, be sure you tell them how many children you have. And you will need the child's tribal registration card. You will need a copy of it. If you don't have it, Leslie in registration will help you take care of it.
Sorry, is there a deadline on that? When I asked earlier.
On the school supply vouchers, yes, we generally run those from July 15th to August 31st, and that usually, they can buy enough supplies to last most of the year. It was $20, it's now $40, so that's going to be a bigger help. Our education assistance is for 6th grade through 12th, and students can apply every year for this, and it's up to $50 for anything that they need for school that's required, but the school doesn't supply. And it also can be used for graduation needs, the ACT test, the class ring, different, and yearbook, things like that. They can apply every year. We also have athletic assistants, and this is for school-sponsored athletics. And it's from first grade on up. We've recently been informed that now that the grade schools have athletics in the school. This is also a $50 award per child per year. And if you're a student, you can apply for both education and athletics. So remember that. It's not one or the other, it's both. The Academic Achievement Award is for high school graduates that have earned a 3.5 GPA. We give them $100 for the fact that they did a great job and to give them recognition. The driver's education is up to $75 as long as it's to an accredited training facility. We can, most of these, if receipts are provided with the name of the facility and proof that you get it, we can reimburse the individual. In the past, we've required that they go to the facility. In our meetings, we discussed, and many times there's not the time to get the applications in, so we have revised these to make them more accessible. Our adult vocational training under this is up to $200 a year, and it's for short-term classes, or elders may want to go take a class on basic computer that might, be 50 or 35 or whatever. And there are many of them, and not just elders, but anyone can apply for this. In the higher education scholarships, these are for colleges, universities, long-term vocational training, such as your nursing and many things that are specialized VOCAC courses. All the programs are available on a first-come, first-served basis, and also the funding availability. And also with the, which one is it? With the trust committee is community services. With the community services, we've also revised the guidelines. We've raised the amounts. There are copies on the back table. I'm not going to try to explain each one, but the categories are student optical assistance, burial program, utility allowance, housing assistance, dental assistance, medical assistance, emergency travel, hospital equipment assistance, and emergency assistance. And our specifically for elder programs, we have optical and prescription medication assistance. These are administered through our social services. The staff for that are Lacey Harris and Cece Big Boots that process. They take all the applications, process them, and then our education and community service committees review them, approve them, and approve them for payment, and they can pay. The only time that we refuse is if documentation is not sent, and then we notify the people they can resend it, or if we don't have the money. Our housing staff includes Melanie Downs, Cece Big Goose, Joyce Smith, Susan Hefter, and Bobby Fiedler. We have housing offices both in Kansas and in Chelsea, and then we do have a course here. I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them, but the information is on the table. Nancy?
Yeah, on your REACH program, I'm sure there's a lot of people here that own their own homes that might need fixing up. What, is there a limit as to what their income is, as to what you guys will give them that could fix it, or?
Yes, LIHEAP and REACH are both income-based. Lacey can go into more detail if you need to.
On the reach application, I actually have the income limit.
Okay.
What is that limit?
It's written down on the application.
For household, but it is on the application.
Any other questions that I can help you with? Yes.
Are they still on board to build a new daycare center over there? Is that on hold?
It's not up for discussion yet. That's just
Well, I did the thing here, but we're working on it. It's not.
We're not sure, we're still discussing.
The grant application is not due. It's not timed. You can't apply for it yet, so it's still, I'd say, in dream.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a future project. Thank you.
Back to you. Can you talk about it? I think you just stood up and got went to the podium. We have your outline. That's it.
Okay, so I started talking a little earlier about this strategic planning. We're going to try to do a 5-year strategic planning, and we've been working on that, but we'd like your input to it, so you can do that by telephone, you can do it by in person today. We'll try to write that down. See this purple form? How many of you filled this out? On the clipboard, did you see the form? If you answer these questions, it'll help us with our 5-year strategic planning. So, you want to move the type forward, you can make sure that all your family is enrolled, your daughter, family.
Let's wait a second to pass out the forms.
Needs to all be enrolled. We've discovered that our under 18 population, we have less than 1,000 under 18 people. So we need to get our young people enrolled in this tribe. And Leslie, the latest statistic is our tribal members are 10,585. If you haven't been receiving information from the tribe, you need to talk to Leslie or Chris. Chris answers the main phone. You call in at the headquarters. He's just full of answers. So y'all, if he doesn't know, he'll find out for you. So we have a missing list. We have missing addresses. I know the people aren't really missing, but their address is missing. So Chris has a list on, and Greg trying to keep it up to date about the missing members. That if you see one of your friends or relatives on the list, you can call in and get an update on the address. You can be informed. You keep up with your DIN, read your DIN. A lot of people ask questions and it was in the DIN. Oh, well, I didn't do that. So you can talk to your tribal leaders. You can, I guess that we have an official Facebook. And have any of you seen our official Facebook? You can like that. I guess you can interact with it.
If you click like, then when they post something, it comes up in your post.
Okay. So you know how that works.
You guys keep up with it.
And check the website. How many of you do look at the website?
All right.
That's looking good. That will keep you informed. We try to keep that updated. So I guess that you everything we know.
Chief, I think Lisa had a report from DEA. I don't know that any of the other directors were speaking today.
Lisa, you want to report, DEA? This is our economic development arm of the tribe, the Delaware Enterprise Authority. And Lisa is the director of this program, and she has forgotten something at the table. She's running as we speak. Just have to talk about it, girl.
And you feel free to review it.
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Steele. As the chief has said, I am representing DEA, which is the Delaware Enterprise Authority, for the economic development part of the tribe. I just want to give you an overview of what the DEA has been doing this year. In January through April, the DEA continued working on the acquisition and development of Sundance Air Park and the SEI. We sought various options for financing these projects, including the TEDS bonds through the U.S. Treasury and a 90% loan guarantee through the BIA. Though through due diligence of the Sundance Air Park project, we found out that the air park owner had misrepresented several very important areas, so the board voted to discontinue the project. We then focused on closing the deal with the Service and Equipment International, and that's a generator company. During the final negotiations on the contract for sale, we could not come to terms on certain areas, so the board again voted to table this project. In May, the board looked at several acquisition options. All of these options required large outlay of capital, which the DEA did not have. The board considered several financing options. Even with a 90% loan guarantee from the BIA, the DEA would still have to supply several $100,000 to cover our 10%. We looked at the possibility of a second loan to cover the down payment, but by this time the financial market had tightened and borrowing money easily without a lot of collateral was more difficult. The board started looking at a much simpler approach to economic development. We looked within ourselves at what the tribe was already doing for itself and decided to build a business around that. We were already taking care of the repair and maintenance of our own tribal buildings, including the housing programs and rental units. We were taking care of our grounds by mowing, weed eating, trimming, and edging. We were also cleaning our own tribal buildings in Caney, Chelsea, and Bartlesville. We wrapped all these services together under the umbrella of facility management. We have expanded our services to include waste management, recycling, and pest control. Our goal is to position this business to be able to acquire tribal, commercial, residential, and government clients. We began the process of establishing this new startup and named it Delaware Facilities Management Solutions, DFMS for short. We wanted to set DFMS as a tribally owned limited liability company, but discovered that the tribe had no LLC or corporation codes. We worked to draft an LLC code and presented it for approval to the Tribal Council in August of 2012. DFMS is a wholly owned tribal business. The vision for DFMS is to position it in a playing field where we will be able to bid on government contracts involving the services we offer under our 5 business units. Again, they are building maintenance and repair, grounds maintenance, janitorial, recycling and waste management, and pest control. To enable DFMS the ability to acquire more government contracts, we want to apply for 8A certification through the SBA. The 8A Business Development Program, named for the Section 8A of the Small Business Act, was created to help small and disadvantaged businesses to compete in the marketplace. It also helps these companies gain access to federal and private procurement markets. This was a certification given by SBA that once obtained, the business becomes eligible to receive federal contracts on the basis of sole source or limited competition. What that means is that it literally moves the tribe to the front of the line. The program also affords each participant the opportunity to bid on set-aside contracts irrespective of the size of the competition with any other participant in the same program. What that means is we don't have any limit on what kind of contract we can bid on. It could be multi-million-dollar down to $10,000. Typically, the SBA regulations require that a business must be in operation for a period of 2 years before applying for 8A certification. This regulation can be waived if the tribe commits that it has the ability to financially help or to support the new business for its first 2 years. The new business must also show that it has capacity, capability, past experience, and some financial capacity. In September, the Tribal Council passed a resolution to commit one of the tribe's certificate of deposit for DFMS to use as collateral to open a line of credit to cover its operating expenses while building the business. To satisfy the second requirement, the current maintenance and repair employees of the housing program transferred underneath DFMS, instantly giving it capacity, capability, and past experience to meet the SBA standards. DFMS officially rolled out on October 1st, 2012, and has been operating now for 1 month. We have hired a CEO, Jim Creed, who has experience in the field of facility management with the emphasis on janitorial. We have literally hit the ground running. Besides our CEO, 5 new employees have been hired, all Native American, and 4 of which are tribal members. We have begun submitting bids on several jobs through the tribe's housing program, utilizing members as subcontractors. We are gathering information from tribal members and other Native American vendors, creating a pool of available vendors to go to when needed, with preference always given to the tribal member vendors. As stated before, we have begun the process of applying for application for 8A certification, and we hope to have it submitted by the end of the year. The process for approval is approximately 6 to 9 months, and we hope to have our certification by the next contracting season, which is during the months of August and September of 2013. We have completed several work orders already for residential customers, and will be implementing our marketing plan over the next few months. While waiting on 8A certification, there are some government agencies that do not require 8A certification. We hope to get some preference just by being an Indian tribe. We are currently pursuing these bids and hope to be successful in acquiring some of these contracts as well. DFMS has a table set up today at the back of the room to allow any member to register first of all, as a vendor with DFMS, and then also, if you have any repair projects or that you need done, make DFMS your first call. We'll be glad to come out and give you a free estimate. We also have 3 drawings that includes 3 hours of fall cleanup, 3 hours of gutter cleaning, and then 3 hours of outdoor holiday lighting and decoration. In July, representatives from the DEA met with a group called Resource Management Group, which represents a reinsurance domicile. They charter offshore domiciles for insurance purposes. We formed a partnership with RMG to process these charter applications through the tribe and issue a certificate granting a charter under the tribe. Insurance codes were drafted to outline this process and define guidelines when presented to the Tribal Council for approval in August 2012. This new business is named Delaware Domicile and received its first proceeds from fees assessed in September. We are currently negotiating with 2 large insurance managers to move their current business and then all future business to the tribe. We are also developing a marketing plan for the domicile to be rolled out to the industry at the first of the next year. We will be attending 2 conferences in the next few months to share information about the prospective insurance managers in the industry and to also begin marketing to let everybody know who we are. The DEA board is also looking for good opportunities in business acquisition. We review and assess every proposal presented to the board. We are currently looking at an opportunity with an engineering firm. We have discussed this project with our financial institution and have requested additional information. As we review and assess each opportunity, we want to ensure that it is a feasible proposition, first of all, and it will make money and service its own debt load. But ultimately, it's got to be a good fit for DEA and the tribe. Thank you.
That's all right.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you our president of the Delaware-Tribe Authority Board, John Dillingham.
See how important I am. I want to thank the chief for honoring me and letting me pray to you all. My son Brian is here with me. Brian, would you stand up? And he knows when I pray with our family, I always break down and bawl. So there was a miracle that happened today. I'm excited about being a part of the DEA. A little history. My great-grandfather was John Young. That's who I was named after. John Young, you may not know this, but he was the first Native American to ever serve in the Oklahoma legislature. He was also on the Dawes Commission. So that's my history. I'm proud to be a Delaware. I'm proud to be a part of this DEA because there's some exciting things going on that Lisa described. And we're going to, I think we're going to do some real economic development for the tribe. The members of the DEA board, the chief is the vice president, and Jennifer is on the board. I don't know if any other board members are here today. Dan Arnold is a new member to the board, and Dan is the treasurer. We've got some white people on the board. We've got Ken Adams, who is a businessman in Martinsville. Dr. Tony Little is on the board, and Laura Roll is the newest member of our board. So we've got some people that are willing to work. There are some exciting things going on. My first meeting was September 4th, and lo and behold, they couldn't get anybody else to serve, so they elected me president. I'm excited about what's going on. There's some things that we're working on that we can't talk about today, but you will learn about them in the future, and I think you'll be proud of your tribe as we improve the economic stability. Thank you very much.
Next we have Chet. He's also the chairman of the trust board, and he's going to make a report now.
The report on the trust board will be pretty simple. How much money do we have? Well, we've got more money than we've had in hours.
We can hardly hear you. Are you blocking your sound from that mic? The mics don't work.
There is no.
Stand over by her. Stand over by her.
There you go.
That's my cousin.
The current assets of the trust board are $3,969,000. Folks, we started out with 1991. When I became the chairman of the trust board in 1995, memory says that we had about 3.1 or 4.1 million from the road. We got it up to about 4.4 million, but we had to start spending a little bit of our trust funds on lawyers to try to gain our federal recognition. By 2002, our trust has been reduced to about 3.2 million. Thanks to the market. But we're in better shape than we have been the last 7 or 8 years at least. I don't know the exact figures. Last year, and there is a report later somewhere, either in the hall or actually spent about $38,000 out of our approximately $120,000 budget, less than we could have. But that's why we've recently increased the scholarships for education and several of the community service amounts. That's essentially all I've got to report, other than I would like to introduce the trust board members that are still here in the audience. Mr. John Sumter, please stand up. John. Dan Smith.
Helping not ten.
Vernon Crawford. Homer Scott back there in the back.
Homer can't stand up.
He ain't catching my things here. All of these trust board members are doing a good job. Each one of them is conducting a committee, a trust committee. And I'd like for one of them, we decided to have our regular first of the month meeting for November earlier today, instead of a couple of members having to travel back here to take that to the hall. So I would like for one of our members to make the motion to adjourn our recess meeting and turn it back over to our chief so we can get into the business of the general counsel.
Chad, I have a question.
Okay.
How much money did you say that we spent how much on lawyers to get our
Nancy's question is, how much did we spend on lawyers way back there in
when we were trying to get our
97? By memory, actually, we drew down about $150,000 out of trust.
Are we through with them now? We've got our recognition badge, and we don't need them lawyers no more? We're through with them?
Yes. Well, the trust is, I don't think we're going to ever draw down any more money. Of course, we still got attorneys that are working to try to get additional trust funds that are owed us by the federal government.
Are we going to draw down any more money out of the principal? That's the last drawdown out of the principal that we're having. We should start be getting more money on our interest.
May I answer that?
Okay. That's all I want to know.
Go ahead.
As a trust board member, and I think I can speak for all of us, we don't ever want to have to draw down from principal again. And we intend to make sure that we have regulations set in place so that we will protect that money. I'm on the trust board because that is dear to me, and I want to make sure that we protect that money for the generations in the future. And but no, from the trust board members are all in agreement that we will not. It would have to be something very drastic, and the only way that we would do that is if people voted to do that. The trust board itself cannot do that without your vote. Thank you. I think John made the motion to adjourn.
We're just talking about our trust board. Don't leave, because we've got general counsel business to continue.
Was that Cass?
If any trust board member has got an objection to us finishing our trust meeting of earlier today. Please so state, and if not, it's adjourned.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Okay. And to do new business, we have to have a quorum. Are you all ready to count hands or something?
Okay,
Well, I don't know if we have anything.
what the parliamentarians suggested, that would be a good question. Is there any business to be brought before the board?
I just should ask before we.
Do we have any new business?
Yeah.
So she's asking if anyone had planned to bring something to the floor today. If you do, then we want tribal members to stand up to be counted, and we want. Okay. Do you want to talk? Do you want to just talk, Jack, or do you want to make a motion?
I'd like to talk. I'd like to just have a chance to speak to the general council.
Ask him to come to the podium.
You want to come to the front and turn around, and maybe they can hear you a little better.
And so, just to clarify, if you want to talk, we can talk. But if you want to actually make a motion, you need to have all the tribal. Let us know so we can have all the tribal members stand up and we'll get counted. But there's some chairs up here, so if you wanted to come up, one person at the podium, and then if you want to come up and get in line to speak.
I also want to tell you, don't be running off because we still have the door prizes. We have some gas cards we want to give you, and we have a TV to draw for. We are also going to eat supper here in a little while.
We'll announce the election
We
results.
also have the election announcement of who won the election. So stick around for a few minutes. Jack,
And there is comments tonight, if there's enough people here to do it.
I don't know that we've had enough leisure reserve,
but we could have a short one.
At least short stop.
Well, we can do the bean dance.
There you go. The bean dance. That'll work.
Okay. 2 minutes, Jack.
All right.
Jack.
My name is Jack Tatum. I'm a tribal elder. I'm a member of the Culture Preservation Committee. I live about 30 yards down here in the Delaware housing, so I'm fairly familiar about what's going on with the tribe. To an extent, it's a chance for me, being a member of Culture Preservation, it gives me a chance to, anytime I speak to the Delaware people, I want to impress on the Delaware people how important our culture is. Now, we got a pretty good group here. We have a really good group, but I don't see a lot of you out participating in the Delaware culture. Now, the Delaware culture, I think you may know what the Delaware culture is about. It's about our songs, our dances, and our language. Right now, that's what we kind of focus on. And I encourage you to come to our culture preservation meeting that we have. Those of you, and we really appreciate that your input as far as our culture. And let me point out that what in the hell is a tribe? Anyway, a tribe is a bunch of people that are all related and practice a specific culture. We lose that culture, which has happened over the last centuries. We're losing our culture. And if we continue to lose that culture, we're no longer a tribe. We might as well be a Cherokee. But not certainly being much than the Cherokees. They complain. They like to say we're Cherokees anyway, but we're not, because our culture is different. We had a different language. They don't go on anymore about being Cherokee. I don't like to complain so much, so I'd like to compliment our tribal council. I really appreciate our current tribal council and the our administration is so much better than our past administration, which I had a lot of problems with, and I think a lot of us kind of have the Cherokee MOA and all of that. That's I didn't agree, but and that group wouldn't even allow me to speak at the general council, which I really resented, because I really feel every Delaware has the right to speak at the general council. And I thank my tribal council that allows that to happen compared to that prior administration. One of the things I want to point out to you, what that administration did was put to our general council one time we could initiate a resolution here at our general council. And that resolution could hold the tribal council feet to the fire. That they eliminated that. Where now, even if you vote on a resolution here or initiate a resolution, doesn't mean nothing. I mean, they don't have to honor it if they don't want to. That was set up by what the prior administration did was they changed our Constitution to allow that to happen.
And we will be making a new Constitution.
All right, I appreciate that, and I appreciate our team. My 2 minutes is up. All right, I'm not going to get. I'm not.
Okay, I'm Bonnie Jo Griffith. First of all, I would personally pay for next year to have Warner Sound come in, put up a riser, and I'm serious. It's not funny to those of us out here. I will pay for it. You all are too low to the ground. Half the people can't see you. You need a riser. We need a sound system. If we have to rent one, I will pay for it. One more thing on all the reports, and I am passionate about health. More Native Americans die of heart disease than any other thing. All the cancers combined. Native women are more prone to heart attacks than any other ethnic group. And 36% of the people who die of heart attacks or cardiovascular disease are under 65 years old. We need to try to see if we can't get some funding to help our people. I mean, the fitness center's great, but we as a people eat terrible. We eat terrible. We need some programs to educate people on preventing heart attacks and cancer and diabetes. But when you have that many people, but more people die of heart attacks than do of diabetes in the Native community. And so we need, to me, there ought to be some sort of program. And also, I had a question on the budget. It said advertising income, zero. Do we not try to get any advertising in the Delaware Indian News? Do we not do any?
And I think that's inaccurate because
we've
have
gotten a little
recently,
bit last couple of issues.
Since the DIN has been going out regularly and people read it now, more people want to advertise
Okay,
it.
I just wondered if you got, because I just felt like that was a place we could make some money. And also, like on the kitchen, I think if you reach out to some corporations, Conoco, Phillips 66, AUB, and ask them for $5,000. I think some of your local companies might be apt to chip in to help. You just need to reach out to them.
I thought maybe the Lion Foundation wanted to help.
No.
Yeah, they don't have to pay for all of it.
I have one more comment. Just a second. But then I want to answer her. We do have a riser. We just did not get it set up this year, and it is on our agenda to get good sound equipment for next year.
I really thought it would be here by now, but.
I just want to be real quick. Right now in D.C., there's an attack, especially what we were talking about, getting the Indian Child Welfare Grant. There's an attack on ICWA. And there's many people that like to adopt Native kids that are not Native American themselves. And since we have waited so long to actually be able to adopt our own children or foster our own children so that they will be within their cultures, it's really important, I think, that we pull together as a tribe and as a part of a larger Native American community to fight against the attack. So I just want to bring your attention to that and see if there's going to be any letters written or anything facilitated to kind of fight that.
Who are you writing to?
Anybody in the Senate committee right now, they are all going after all those senators on the committees and the adoption committees themselves. They are testifying all over. And to be honest, it's all over one of our actual community members. There's a little Cherokee girl here in our community that was illegally adopted. The father was being sent out to Iraq at that point when they took his daughter and gave her up for adoption. And he did not give his legal consent. 2 years go by while he's fighting in Iraq. He goes through the whole legal process. He is awarded custody of her. So she goes back, but the outcry is that that's not in her best interest because she's been with this adoptive couple for 2 years. And so the whole tug of war is about, well, it's in her best interest to stay because she's bonded with these adoptive people, but yet she is a Native American child.
Well, she's blood to that man.
And she is she is his child, illegally adopted. So, believe it or not, we're still fighting that battle.
They do this in the white community all the time. Take white kids back away from their adoptive parents and give them back to the blood. So I don't know why the racists stink over this, but they are.
Yeah, John and then Cass.
I've got
John
first.
John
For the elders.
Well, can't you come back for that? No, I was going to ask a question on procedure. Are you saying for us to conduct business, there needs to be 100 count people here on the floor?
Right.
What about past that we've conducted business at 100 signed in and still conducted business without 100? So in other words, we're doing that.
Our parliamentarians.
Well, that's why I'm saying we're doing that right now without prior notice. We're going to have notice that we have to have 100 people on the floor.
It's in the Constitution.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They should have, had a little bit prior notice.
It's
And I could
Article 11, Section 3. A quorum of not less than 100 eligible voting members must be present to conduct and/or vote on any business.
Yeah, I'm saying, but now we're going on this new proceeding now,
No,
following
that's
to the
just
letter.
in the Constitution.
That's what I'm saying. We're following it to the letter now.
Yes, sir.
And the past receipt that's been happening is no longer.
There's a lot of things that didn't go right in the past.
That's what I'm asking.
We're following the Constitution.
All right, thank you. That was my clarification.
Okay, I have a point to the question. Anyone working with the child welfare thing, the counseling agency, my wife and I would be happy to provide essays or research papers on reactive attachment disorder, cultural identity issues as professional documentation for the argument in that. And then also I had a question with regard to the Delaware domicile. Have we done a study to see what we will need to do to prepare our courts for that program as it expands?
Charles Randall, right?
We have gone to a number of classes, and we are trying to prepare our court to get ready for that. As a matter of fact, this last week we went to Bill State to look at their system, how it's performing, and how we can help adopt some of those functions. But yeah, we are working actively on that. We do have a planning grant right now that we talked about earlier to establish that program. So there's a lot being worked on in that.
And we also are joining the National Indian Child Welfare Association, and I just talked with the executive director of that organization, and they're pledging their support to provide additional training free of charge to the tribe as we build both the court system and the child welfare program for the tribe.
My name's Terry McKinney. Will that same judicial system handle the child support that y'all were talking about earlier? Is that same judicial system going to carry through that?
Yes.
A few years ago, I thought we voted to call it the Delaware Nation, not the Delaware Tribe. And I noticed everything's still Delaware Tribe. And do you remember that, Curtis, when it was discussed?
No, ma'am. I don't remember a general council where we voted to call ourselves Delaware Nation, but I can tell you that what was formerly known as the absentee Delawares, later became the Delaware Tribe of Western Oklahoma. They changed their constitution about 5 years ago, and they are officially known on the books as Delaware Nation. So the bunch in Anadarko is Delaware Nation. We are Delaware Tribe of Indians, and that's, I don't recall any action that we took.
And maybe she's thinking about when the government used to recognize us as the Eastern Delaware, and we officially changed our name to the Delaware Tribe of
It was discussed
Indians.
at General Council about changing it to Delaware Nation and Delaware Tribe. And if
I'm
we
sure.
haven't done it, then we should do it.
I'm sure it was discussed, ma'am, but I would dare say that because we're still the Delaware Tribe of Indians, no formal action was taken either at the General Council meeting. Otherwise, we'd be flying the flag that said Delaware Nation. I think we're going to be hard-pressed at this time because the other federally recognized tribe is calling themselves Delaware Nation.
Well, so the Cherokee Nation. What's wrong with us being Delaware Nation?
They already are the Delaware
Yeah,
Nation.
but we can put something else with it. I just feel like we're a nation, we're not a tribe. You know, to be, I don't know how the government looks at it, but if you call yourself nation or tribe.
Is that a motion on the floor?
You can't vote anyway, Kirsten.
I'm on your side.
Excuse me.
And what Nikki mentioned about writing to Congress, we recently were at NCAI, National Congress of American Indians, and there are several sample resolutions that we can make for Indian child welfare, for authorization of NAHASDA, and several other funding that is endangered. I brought back samples of those. I'm trying to get all the information together, and we'll present it to the tribal council next Saturday. But we do need to look into that, and do need to know that we need to go to our congressman in support, refunding the HOSTA, the Indian child welfare, and several other aspects, and the council will understand.
So we are going to have, next council meeting will be after 1 o'clock. Next Saturday is the swearing in of our new council people and our judges. So you're invited to come to the swearing in and the council meeting.
What time did you say, Chief?
Well, the swearing in's 1, isn't it? What time's the swearing in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we scheduled it for 10, but...
Oh, no.
It's at 1.
I thought it used to be at 10, but, yeah. Okay, so is Lou Ann here?
She did that one.
Okay, you want to read these?
Yes, ma'am.
And these are pending.
Okay, friends and relatives, I have before me the certification from our election board on the results of the election. That will be pending a 72-hour protest period by any of the candidates. But this has been certified as of today. And here are the results of the election. Tribal council candidates, by the way, we had polling in Caney, Kansas, and here in Bartlesville, and then we also had absentee ballots. Total ballots for tribal council candidates, the top vote getter, Chester L. Brooks, 246 votes. Second top vote getter, Annette Ann Martin Ketchum, 241 votes. Third highest vote getter, Nathan H. Young, 203 votes. Fourth vote, John Wesley Sumter, 150 votes. Fifth place, Marilyn Pickett Cole, 104 votes. The three tribal council candidates who are elected, again, pending protest period, Chet Brooks, Annette Ketchum, Nate Young. Chief Justice candidate, we only had one for the position, Don Mason. He was elected with 379 votes. Associate tribal judge candidate, we only had one, Charles Randall. That's 387 votes. And on the proposed 2013 Trust Board budget, we had a vote of 396 yes and 20 no. Those are the results of the 2012 election.
Thank you. Before we leave.
Yeah, I'm going to do the door prize.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, you're not going to like what I got to say. I'm going to say it. It's going to bother me. And you know what the word is. Last time that the nepotism was brought up was over Jennifer being on the council, and you said it was because that she wasn't elected. That's why she could be on the council. Now, I remember this. I don't remember yesterday, but I can tell you what happened 2 years ago. Another thing is, have they changed the nepotism in the Constitution? Because it's in there, the one I have. Annette can't be on the council if you're up here as the chief.
I was elected, Nancy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Annette. Elected. They told me Jennifer could be on the council because she was appointed.
That's not.
That's the name it is, but I'll bring it up.
Okay, wait, show us in the Constitution what you're talking about.
I said in my Constitution. Okay. All right. Okay. Now the one that I have is an original one. Has it been changed? Now all of a sudden now there's no nepotism. We've got Pamela doing the whole council bit. Why don't you? Right there's a woman that's a doctor. Got a doctor's degree. These other people, Cass Smith, he's been to college. All these other people out here that can sit up there and say, well, I didn't know. I know I'm making you mad because they're friendly. I'm sorry.
You're not making
it's
me
not
mad.
you, your mother.
You're totally entitled to your opinion.
That's right. And I'm stating it right now. There's too doggone many kitchens. And it's not
Go catch them.
I'm just saying, all of a sudden we've got kitchens on every board.
For 2 minutes.
Are you related by blood? Are you related by blood?
I'm related to you.
You're related by blood.
To the Ketchums? No, none of us are related by blood to the Ketchums, Nancy.
All right. Then I'm just taking
Who's taking time? 2 minutes?
And I don't know when the thing was taken out. That's nothing.
Thank you, Nancy.
Let me address what she was trying to make a reference to. You know, the
Okay.
I served with my brother. He was elected. I was elected. Now, Nancy, if you like your job here that the tribe is paying for, hold just a second. I'm talking. You don't mind being quiet. I was quiet while you were talking. I would assume that you like these facilities and you like this 80 acres. So while I was serving, all of this came about. All right? And I will tell you that it was from the perspective that the members voted my wife in. They didn't appoint her or whatever you're making reference to. It was an elected from the people. Okay? And so I'm just saying that if you're concerned with the kitchens being elected.
Please stop this discussion.
We didn't stop Nancy from
That was all in elected positions.
have 2 minutes.
None of it was ever appointed. Okay?
Thank you, Dave. I was real happy with our group. We haven't had an argument.
Hooray.
Door prize.
Sit down and let us.
Door prize.
All right, that's something to say. This girl came from California. Let's let her speak.
I came all the way from California.
Oh, please speak.
And I love my tribe, I love my people, but the definition of a tribe is that we are all related, that we're all family. And nepotism says that somebody's in family. How can we be a tribe and not have family? We are all connected. If you look at your family tree, we're all connected. And I love all of you. Some of you I'm closer to, but I'll bet you one way or another, every one of us here in this room is a cousin. Anyway, and you're my cousin too. Okay.
You ready?
Oh, I guess we're ready to draw.
What are we going to draw for first?
All right. I need Bruce Martin. Where are the cards?
The gas cards.
We just drove back to Miami on it.
So, there we go. All right, we have one prize, one door prize here today. That's the 32-inch Magnavox big screen TV. I hope it's in the box. Otherwise, you're going to walk out with just a box. All right, here's how we did it. We had you sign in. You randomly got in line and signed in, so there's no order to how you signed in.
You have to be present.
You have to be present to win.
Sign me in last.
Then, I have raffle tickets in here. We started with 01, 02, 03, and they're all in here. You don't have, hang on folks, let me get this straight. You don't have to have a ticket. What we're going to do is, whatever number that Joanne draws out, I'm going to compare that number with the number on the roster where you signed in.
What's my number?
If it matches, you get the TV.
My number is
All right. So Joanne Barkley. Only Delaware's signed in. So. All right. Here we go. It is number 33.
Oh, God, I think that's mine, and I'm not taking it.
You're not.
Yes, that's mine.
You're so lucky.
All right.
I won it in the first place. I'm sorry. I'm on the car. I don't want
Somebody take this woman to the casino with you because really, she also won the white card. She put her business card. When we bought a van here at the local used car lot, so we could have a tribal vehicle to go around. Well, as we were buying it, she threw her business card in the pot. She won a car and donated it to the tribe, so that we've got 2 cars for the price of one. Besides, she's our tribal treasurer. She never passed the audit. All right, Joanne, let's try it again.
I had a feeling that was going to happen.
It better not be the chief. Number 20.
Ricky Stevens. Tribal number 2109. Ricky Stevens.
Ricky Stevens?
No.
Check out in the hall.
No, they're not in here.
Anybody out there?
Tell everybody to come in that's here.
Going once.
That was a command.
They did that to me at the car place, and I said, would you just
Wouldn't
not
that be
holler
awful
at them and let me out?
If we declare it gone and then he comes walking out of the bench room?
Oh, that'd be bad.
Are we all clear? All right.
Good taking outside.
We're having trouble getting away with
He better not chase his car down.
All right. Number 24.
Michael Joseph Morrison.
That's Mickey.
Mickey, now what did you? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's get somebody.
I'm shaking it, boss.
He is the bingo thing. He is.
All right. Please, let's have a winner. Number Z. No, I'm sorry. We're at the 600. So number 106.
Did you memorize your number?
How do you know what your number is?
Oh my God. Fanny?
Call out the name.
Fanny Ketchum Etheridge.
Yes.
You're the winner.
Thank you very
Yep, we have to move quickly here, Richard, one or the other.
It's been exciting. You guys are
All right. Tribal Council says let's give away how many?
2, 3.
We're going to give away 3 T-shirts, consolation prize. All right, so Joanne,
One to each drawing, though.
Not 3 for drawing now.
for three tickets. I mean, we're going to draw 3 tickets out. Whoever's number is, you get a T-shirt over here. All right. Do we got any left?
Well, they better
We have
have. I
how many?
ain't got mine yet.
Oh. All right, Joanne. All right, here we go. First one is number 87.
Priscilla Mason.
Go over to Anita and get your prize. Ronna, you go over here to Anita and tell her what size you want. Congratulations.
All right, the next one is 109.
I only go to 108.
All right. I actually put 120 in tickets.
Oh.
I didn't know how many we had.
Wait a minute, I'll write my name down.
All right, how about 101?
Charles Miller.
There he is.
Charles Miller.
Isn't that right? What's your dad?
Number 16.
16.
Number
I'll get
16.
Carol. Okay, you guys are going to have to help me with your writing here. Carolyn McKinney.
Help her out, please.
Hilden.
How about that?
Hilder. I can read their Delaware number. 5448 is the Delaware number.
What is the name, please?
Carol.
Carol?
Carol. Is there Carol? Everything like 448. Let's see who 5448 is. I'm sorry. We said 55. I can't read.
Carol Holder?
Oh, good. Chris is going to take the
Anybody with a name that sounds like Carol Holder?
Let's say not.
All right.
Only in your ears.
Number 99.
You took my
Oh, I'm sorry. I took the clipboard here. Number 99 is Elaine Clinton. Is she still here? Oh,
dang.
I'm giving you a workout here, Joanne. Pick us out a winner here. Number, how high did we go? This is 114.
108.
No, we're not there, sorry.
Here, I need to make over the numbers. Here, give me back my tablet.
118. That ain't going to work.
Good news is we're almost out of
I'm going to really shake this up here. How about number 93?
Oh, that looks like Jack Tatum.
All right. Got her done. There you go, Chief.
It's about 4:30. You're scheduled to eat supper at 5. I don't know if it'll be ready earlier, but I think they're going to start setting up for that.
So we have a